I think I had like 4 comedians that I represented host the AVN Awards in consecutive years, and that's the Adult Video Awards. In each instance, part of the responsibility is you had to go down to the exhibit hall or whatever you call it, where all these booths are. And when you go down there was this long group of 6-foot tables all in a row with these girls behind it. And they were cam girls. And they were the top cam girls in the world. There were women that were really, really tall that were popular. There were women that were little people that were popular. There was every ethnicity you can imagine. You realize, even though this isn't comedy and this isn't performance, I know there's a joke there, but it's the way the world works is that you don't have to gain the whole world to be successful. I think if you're avant-garde or whatever you are, just be the best at it, and just be in a situation where you go on stage and you f people up. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Industry Standard, the Ask Me Anything edition. Very excited about these things. I enjoy them very much, and I love answering your questions. So let's start without further ado. Question number 1 from Buddy in West Virginia. In your experience, how do stand-up comedians get over writer's block? What are some ways that you have helped inspire your clients to come up with new and exciting material? Writer's block is actually a really great thing. I know some people would probably jump into the studio and kill me, but my mother always told me this expression, it's always darkest before the dawn. And I think that writer's block is something that when it happens, it's just so frustrating. It's like being in a slump as an athlete, or it's just really, really challenging. But if you know that there's greatness on the other side, then and you have the confidence in yourself that there will be, I think that, you'll be okay. And you'll know that when you do come up with the new ideas, that they're going to be golden and they're going to be incredible. And you have to know for yourself that it's always happened. There's never a situation in the history of the world where you've had writer's block for your entire career, or you wouldn't have a career. You wouldn't have a chance at a career. So always know and have the confidence that it's going to get over and there's going to be greatness on the other side. And in terms of coming up with new and exciting material, I think one of the most important thing in stand-up comedy, in sketch comedy, in any kind of musical comedy, anything, is that your premises are original, unique, and your phraseology is really, really strong, to where you're using words and combination of words that people don't use that often. And your premises are those that can funnel so many different punchlines and so many different laughs. And I think that's what you're always going to look for. Don't get me wrong, you can do a simple premise as long as the jokes underneath it are extraordinary and original. And I think to inspire people, not that I'm inspiring anybody to come up with a certain thing, but I encourage people to look into different concepts and things that they haven't really heard that often. And I like to have them shy away from things that, we might have heard themes of many, many times before. And I think that's the important thing. Somebody gave me a script the other day, a spec script for a pilot. And the opening of the pilot was just one of the group cooking some eggs for the first time for the group, and the eggs weren't good, and everybody's faces and expressions of how the eggs weren't good and how they were reacting to it, how they were going to tell the person in that moment that they weren't good, how they wanted the person who normally makes the eggs to make them again. And the bottom line is, we've seen people tasting food that people cooked for them that was bad. We've seen it a lot. And so if you're going to do a premise like that, you're going to open your spec script with it, you better be in a situation where your lines within it are unique and original, and they're not just the same thing with the face of somebody being disgusted with the food. And so I hope that answers your question, but that's the way I see it. Next question from Wayne in Rural Town. I don't know what that means. I don't know what rural town means. What advice would you have for a comic from a rural town? I have videos on my TikTok, but I don't know how to get noticed by managers. Do I start by emailing clubs first? I thought I needed a manager first. I think the bottom line is, with representation, is don't worry about the representation. Just worry about being memorable, being extraordinary, being a comedian that goes into his home club and kills 10 times in a row, where the waitresses, the bartender, the barbacks, the manager, the comedians that hate you, they all would say, along with the audience, that you were the best that night. And I think that's the biggest thing. And with your TikTok videos, look, people can say a lot about TikTok. It's going to help you. It's going to hurt you. It's going to make things better for you. I think the only way the videos are really going to do something for you is if people resonate with them and they bring themselves from the TikTok to your shows. And the world has a plan, and the world speaks. And the only way you're going to find out if your TikTok videos or any of your social media videos are helping you is identifying where your audience is of your followers, and then setting up a date somewhere at a place. Maybe you find a little theater, a little club, a little back of a restaurant, and you promote it on your social media. And then you'll know if your videos inspire people to wait in line for you. How many times here in Los Angeles do you drive by like the Palladium or places like that, and you see these lines of people early in the day? Why are they there? They're there because the person who they're waiting for tickets for is memorable. They're somebody who has inspired them, impacted them. The lyrics have moved them. And it's the same for comedy. It's the same for social media videos. How you use your words, how they resonate with your audience, and how it inspires them will determine whether you can bring them from the video over to a paid situation with hard tickets in a venue. And you just have to start. And it's trial and error. But don't worry about the representation. Everything will happen the way it's supposed to happen. So that's just it. Just put your head down, do great work, and everything will come to you. Just keep going, keep fighting, keep pushing, and your audience and the world will speak. And then managers and agents will chase you. Trust me. All right, Diana in Las Vegas. What do you think makes a better writer? Stand-up comedy or improv? I think stand-up comedy makes you a better writer. But I think improv makes you a better thinker. Somebody who really, really can think off the top of their head And it allows you the excitement and the confidence and the knowledge that you can go into any situation and make it funny from nothing. Whereas the stand-up comedy, you're working the material, you're working words here, words there, changing little things around to make sure the rhythm and the way the presentation goes is perfect, and then the timing after each word. And I think that's important when you're writing screenplays or television pilots. There's a concentration of effort in making sure every word has a value to the script. Every word has a value to your stand-up act. And again, if you're improvising or doing sketch, you can make mistakes. You can do things that are off the top of your head, and you can still get laughs. You can even save something when it's not going well with the improvisational nature of your mind. But always stand-up is the thing that's going to drive you to be an extraordinary writer. And all you have to do is look at somebody like, say, like Stephen Wright, who won an Academy Award for The Appointments of Dennis Jennings, and know that, you know, you're capable of doing those things. There are so many people out there who are stand-ups who are great, great writers. And I don't really know as many improv performers who are considered as great writers, the ones that just do improv. But there's always exceptions to the rule, and I don't want to lump anybody into that category. Next question. Darius in Encino, California. What's a good first step towards selling a script? In my mind, the best thing to do is to study television shows that you love. There's an old expression that I used for too long: study greatness, imitate greatness, become great. And I think that you got to look at the shows you love, and then you got to watch the pilot of the shows you love, that first episode. And then you got to go online and see if you can find the shooting draft of that pilot. And that way, you're going to know frame by frame when you match the pilot and the script, and you kind of see how the director had his vision and the writer or producer had his vision, and where the laughs are, the memorable moments throughout. Because if it's a half-hour script, you got to be in a situation where you get laughs, and not just one a minute. You know, if you're working on a game show like Hollywood Squares, the theme is, you know, a laugh a minute. Got to get at least one laugh a minute. But when you're dealing with a half-hour comedy, a lot of times the audience demands more than that per minute. And it's a challenge because you need the great actor who's going to deliver your words and your vision, and you're going to need the lines that are going to make it funny. And so that's what I would do there, and that holds true the same for screenplays, you know. Figure out the screenplays that you love the most, that you think are the best written and the most respected. Then watch the movie, have the shooting draft in your hand if you can find it online, and get a sense of how it was written, how the first act is written, where that act break is, where the second act is, and where that act break is the next, and how you close it off. And no matter whether it's drama, comedy, dramedy, just study, and just start putting pen to paper with an original idea, but using what you've learned from the greatest projects in the world. Hey everybody, it's Barry Katz, and I wanted to talk to you about Blueprint for Success. This is a community that I put together during the pandemic to help all artists of every walk of life in the entertainment business. No matter where you are in that part of this journey, it's designed to help you.
There are podcasts with people that will inspire you, like Kevin Hart, Judd Apatow, Bill Burr, that you can't find anywhere else but on this program that I've interviewed, to times where we get to talk to executives in the business that you would never have access to tell you what you need to hear and to answer your questions, to all sorts of different videos and master classes designed to help you get to the promised land. That's what the blueprint for success is. Doesn't matter whether you want to be a stand-up comedian, a sketch performer, a podcaster, an actor, an actress, director, writer, social media person, whatever you want to be. I've been doing this for 40 years. I've had the honor and been humbled to represent people like Chappelle, Wanda Sykes, Louis C.K., Dane Cook, and probably over 20 other people who went from a studio apartment to being a multi-millionaire and a household name. And I want that for you, and I wanted to take the time with this program to be able to help you on your way there, to get there and to heighten and increase the trajectory of your career. Blueprint for Success is the way to go. I'm proud to be a part of this program, and I'd be proud to have you to be a part of it too.
All right. Lionel in Rochester, New York. Do you have any advice for avant-garde comedians who have been told that their material is too weird and animalistic? Asking for a friend. Why don't I believe you, Lionel? I think that one of the things I found out long ago, and at the risk of being canceled, hopefully I can tell the story in a unique way. I think I had like 4 comedians that I represented host the AVN Awards in consecutive years, and that's the Adult Video Awards. And in each instance, part of the responsibility is you had to go down to the exhibit hall or whatever you call it, where all these booths are. And when you go down there, no matter what your sexuality is, there's everything and anything. Some things that you're like, oh my God, I had no idea about that. Or some things go too far, some things don't. But what I noticed every year was there was this long group of 6-foot tables all in a row with these girls behind it. And they were cam girls. And they were the top cam girls in the world. And there were women that were tiny, you know, like they were like 5 feet tall and whatever. There were women who were larger, bigger women that were popular. There were women that were really tall that were popular. There were women that were little people that were popular. There was every ethnicity you can imagine, from people who were from Colombia to people who were from the Dominican Republic to Russia, to India, to the Middle East. And they were all the most popular people in this field. And you realize, even though this isn't comedy and this isn't performance, I know there's a joke there, but it's the way the world works, is that you don't have to gain the whole world to be successful. You don't have to. That's the thing about our business that's so amazing. You can find your niche. Even the most successful stand-up comedians in the world if you add up the people that come see them in their live performances on a tour, and you divide that by the population of the world, it's a very low and insignificant number. And it could be argued, if you look at it just statistically, you could say the person is failing, but they're the most successful comedian out there. So you don't have to get everybody. One of the things I like to talk about is that, like, if in this studio here, we were to pretend this was the world, and we were to paint the whole place black, except for one little speck of white right there. And I'll tell you, as an artist, if you can motivate and inspire and blow away and impact that little dot of people, you're going to be a multi-millionaire and one of the most successful artists in the world. That's the way it works. I'll go one step further. Like, think about your most successful musical artist that you love. Whoever it might be. Let's just take anybody. Let's just take Lady Gaga. Okay? Or even the Rolling Stones. Or, I mean, just insert artist here. Aerosmith. Dr. Dre. But whoever you want. And if those artists were to show you every single recording that they produced professionally, that they really believed was a great recording, and how many of those recordings are ones that you remember and then you sing along to, it's a really, 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 really small percentage. So the biggest artists in the world, let's say Lady Gaga, for instance, right now, who sang at the Super Bowl, pre-Super Bowl. Maybe, let's say there's 10 songs that you know all the words to, if you're a fan. And if you're a really big fan, maybe 20. And the rest of her body of work, which she's so proud of, you don't listen to, you don't purchase the song on Apple Music if you have that kind of a plan, and you don't go to her shows waiting for that song. But she's done enough to inspire you so much that she's considered one of the biggest stars in the world. But yet, there's a lot of failure within that, but we don't look at it as failure. We only look at the things that are successful. And I think as comedians, a lot of times, comedians look the opposite way. They look at things that are more how they didn't work versus how they did work, because comedians have that mind that's more pessimistic than positive. I'm not saying musical artists don't, but I'm just saying. And so I think if you're avant-garde or whatever you are, just be the best at it. And just be in a situation where you go on stage and you f people up. And it's okay. There's so many examples of artists. Paul Rubens is a great example with Pee Wee Herman. It just, you can figure out a way to do it if you're extraordinary at it, and no one will question you. So keep fighting for that lane and don't worry about it. And you'll find your place if you do the extraordinary work. All right, next question. Carmen in Mexico City. Other than the increased focus on social media, what has been the biggest change in the comedy industry over the last 5 or 10 years? To me, like, the biggest change is how you're able to use the tools as an artist to become great. So the technology is becoming so great on your iPhone or in how you put things together and the different ways to cut things from CapCut and the AI features you're able to do to post social media. Just the technological tools are insane. You know, before the pandemic, I'm sure every manager and agent probably will agree, like phone calls, you know, you'd have great phone calls and great situations, and there'd be a business phone and things would be thriving. And after the pandemic, you got used to calling people and texting them on their cell phones and reaching them that way, and it became more of a digital thing, more and more and more, to the point where, you know, people don't even like to call an office number. They just want to reach you right away, and they can do that because of the technological way things are. They can DM you, they can do whatever. And so it's a different way the world is coming, and as we know, soon enough there'll be television series that are all AI actors and films, and before you know it, there'll probably be a category for AI in the Academy, and there'll probably be AI actresses and actors that are getting nominated for awards. So I think, yes, social media is huge, but the way you deliver your social media, the way you figure out how to get it out, the algorithms, and being able to study the trends of YouTube channels and all the social media, and being able to navigate as the trends change. I think that's the biggest thing. Artists are taking control of their own lives. Instead of Rupert Murdoch putting a satellite on a mountain in different countries, now you have your own satellite, your own phone, and you're able to do and enhance any business you want within the comedy world. And I think that's really, really exciting. Next question. How often do you find comedians stealing other comedians' jokes? That's Amir from San Francisco, California. Amir, it happens all the time, and it's going to continue to happen. And if you're a prolific artist and you write in a way that's unique and special in your own voice, it's very hard for people to steal your piece. You know, one of my favorite pieces, as people know, are Jim Jeffries' gun control bit. Very hard to steal that piece. Another favorite of mine, Chappelle's crack baby routine. Very hard to steal that piece. Carlin's piece where he talks about how life should be reversed, and instead of starting off as a baby and getting old, we should start off our lives at an older age to where we're younger and finish off with the orgasm. These are bits you can't steal. I mean, it would be impossible to steal. And so I think being as original and unique as you can and striving for that, and people seeing how original and unique you are, people will know automatically if you're taking something, and, you know, it'll become your signature piece. Even comedians who I've known for years, like Craig Shoemaker, the Love Master, or Pablo Francisco, the movie guy, nobody's going to take those bits. Those are signature pieces of theirs. Next question from Julio in Sherman Oaks, California. As someone starting out, how the f*** do you get the money to produce your content? You don't need money to produce your content. You just need a phone and your mind. And be original, unique, and extraordinary. That's it. Every day, post. Every day. Something unique and special and different. And if you're doing the right thing, you'll see it. The world will speak, and you'll get what you want. If you don't give them what they want, and the videos aren't getting any traction, you know you're not doing the right thing right away. Keep going, keep fighting. Your phone, it's free, and you can become anything you want to be for free with just that iPhone and just posting on your own. Next question. Rex from Los Angeles County. Does working with some of the funniest people in the world elevate your comedy game, or do you find yourself second guessing every would-be joke? I think it's always great to play tennis with the best tennis players. Always play chess with the best chess players. You always want to be in the room with the best. It makes no sense to be in the room with people who are less than you. As Lorne Michaels and many people have said throughout my lifetime, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong fucking room. And that's all the questions for today, but I wanted to finish up by just saying that the running theme today, I think, is making your mark. And it's an easy expression to say. It's an easy expression to say be memorable or blow people away or f people up or be the funniest person in the room or the most original person in the room. But as they say, if it were that easy, everyone would be doing it. And we all know there's very, very few extraordinary comedians in the world. And if you can't be extraordinary, at least you can strive to be the most original and unique you can be, that you have in you for that period of time. And then after you release content for that period of time, then you can strive for a higher level for the next. I can't speak for Dave Chappelle. I happen to think Sticks and Stones is the best special that I've ever seen him do. I think the material is extraordinary. I love it. I think it's one of the most incredible pieces of stand-up work that I've seen in a long, long time. That's my opinion. That's what I take from it. But I don't know if Dave might feel that another one of his specials is better, maybe Killing Me Softly. Who knows? That's what the world is all about, is just experiencing things and having your thoughts on it, your opinions on it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think when you think of the greatest comedians in the world, just really look at how they became the greatest comedians in the world. The kind of material they're doing, how they're inspiring their audience, and how they're changing the game. And lastly, how they're getting to a certain plateau and not resting on their laurels. They're fighting even harder to get to the next level, even though they seem to be already at the top of Mount Everest and there doesn't seem to be another level. But the great ones figure out how to do that. They figure out how to fight through it. And a lot of people starting out in comedy, they want it. They want it so badly. They want to get to the next level so quickly. And they're not comfortable or happy with the time it takes of repetition and work to get to where they need to go. And they just don't listen a lot of times. A lot of times you'll have this young comedian who will send you something and they're so excited. Take a look at this 5 minutes. It's unbelievable. I was at the Improv. It was 300 people there. And then you watch the set and they laugh at their own jokes 5 times in 5 minutes. They say the words, 18, 19 times in the set. And you let them know and they're almost like they're offended. It's like, well, I did well. People were laughing. Yeah, well, that's great. But you gotta aspire to want to be better than that. Can you imagine if you saw a presidential candidate that you loved do a speech and every 5 minutes he said the words you know, would you vote for him? So as an artist, you have to look at all the variables and really, really figure out what you need to do to make the world rally around you, or at least a strong enough group of people that's going to follow you from city to city, country to country, TV show to TV show, film to film, and everything possible in the entertainment business. And I love the artists who start to figure it out, who start to find their voice. I even love the older artists who've been doing it for 45 years and believe in themselves so much, but just one time somebody sees them like a don't tell comedy and puts them on, and then 250 million views later, you become Andy Huggins, a household name, when before you were just a 40-year comedian trying to get noticed, trying to get the gigs you wanted, trying to get the money you needed, trying to get the audiences to come see you and pay you. And it's beautiful to see when it happens, no matter if you're 75 years old or if you're 17 years old. It's a special thing to see somebody find their lane, get going, create some momentum, and inspire the world. It's beautiful. And I'm grateful for all your questions today. I love this segment. I love doing my best to try to add value any way I can. And I'm just only one guy, one voice, one opinion. But if you see anything or hear anything that I say that will help you or make a difference, use as little or as much as you want. And I just want you to win. And I'm glad that I can do a little something to try to make a difference and add some value. So thank you for listening. Been another episode of Industry Standard. See you next time.